What is good, folks, with y'all tonight? Just making sure everything is working. If you read the title of the video, we don't know what we're talking about tonight. I'm sure some of you think I don't know what I'm talking about all the time, but tonight I haven't really come up with a theme. If I'm just being honest, man, I'm tired. I've been doing this for a long time, and you go through a lot when you're on this journey. You go through a lot. My spirit is drained. Everything is going out. Not a lot is coming back in, and Speaking of which, I think it was yesterday or the day before, my brother Angel, I hope you're watching, man. He hit me up on Cash App. And he gave me a generous donation, and in that donation he said, "In appreciation for the universal principles you share." I'll be honest with you, I didn't tear up, but I kind of wanted to. You know what I'm saying? When you start out being this particular thing that I claim to be, again, I'm not trying to sell you on that idea, but on the front end, especially when you don't know what it entails, you think that it's going to be all like, I don't know, that people are going to be happy to see you and everybody's going to come to you with open arms like, "Oh, yes, we're ready to solve the problems. Somebody can see how the shit actually goes." And what you're not prepared for is how much heartbreak and how much pain and animus and aggression you'll have to endure for simply seeing things in a particular way, in a way that is demonstratedly consistent with reality, and the things you sing not matching other people's hopes, wishes, and expectations. People get real mad at you for saying they're wrong. Even if you don't tell them to their face that they're wrong, they take offense to anything that suggests how they are approaching life and how they perceive reality is wrong. And if you consistently say things that don't match their inner story, they come to hate you. They attack. Friends, families, lovers. You endure a lot of damage through this. And somehow through everything that you have to endure, through all the hatred that comes at you, both from people that you can see with the naked eye and people hiding behind huge walls of technology and social platforms, somehow you have to maintain your frame of reference. Through all the personal loss, through all the pain, and like on days that you don't even feel physically good, you got to figure out how to pull it out of nowhere. Everything is coming out of you. Very little goes back in. So when my brother hit me with a donation the other day, just out of appreciation for the fact that I've been doing this for such a long time, I won't lie, inside I was a little choked up by it. Because a lot of times, what y'all don't understand is I have to assume that I'm talking to an audience and no one. Every time you see me write a post, there's no guarantee that anybody's going to see it. A lot of times y'all appreciate the things that I do, at least at an ideal level. A lot of people like how well I'm able to defend myself under pressure and make sense of principles and explain things, but very little positive energy goes back into me. Tonight I was kicking it with my brother Donald Jones. And I tell you, man, it was one of the most refreshing and uplifting conversations that I've had in a while. We just chopped it up. And I get to kick it with my brothers every night. Okay. Apparently somebody's shooting. So that's the thing. I get to kick it with my brothers every night, every Tuesday night at the Cantina. And we have us a nice, good old time. But I don't think anything could prepare you for how bad this feels just going through this experience, you know? I mean, somehow, again, through all the stuff that it's like I have to endure at a personal level, I have to somehow figure out how to push aside all my own worries and concerns and all my own frustrations and pain and still be available for people, man. All the essays I've written, it's like doing a long-ass book report for 13 years, man. Just it's describing all these principles, and you have to stay on it even when you don't feel up to it. You don't know if anybody's going to see it. You don't know if it's going to make any impact, but it's ultimately not for you to decide. A lot of people think that I do this for fun or for attention, but this isn't the type of attention you want. It's certainly not as fun as you imagine. Astral projecting, seeing the body of the universe, that shit is pretty cool. Like going to places where there's physical light that you can cut through, that shit is pretty fire. Where, you know, you're on the other side of the universe and space out there is just like fucking sky blue. Just destroys our theories of how light works and shit like that. That's pretty fire. But, yeah, a lot of this is just misery, man. But I got to stay on it. You know, through the years, hey, my brother Absurd just popped in. Those refreshing combos when everyone is being honest and there's very little ego are like a desert oasis. Yes, indeed. They are like a desert oasis. Brother Absurd, the word! I love this man right here. It's my true brother, man. I miss you, bro. Yeah, man. It's not fun a lot of days, you know. Because again, it's like the 90% of what I get from people is competition. I've demonstrated consistently through the years that the best science and academia the species has to offer is not going to be able to keep pace with me, you know. And again, not because of Donald King, but because of a thing that I'm hosting. I destroy the wisdom of the wise. Just the way it works. It comes with the territory. But not fun. Not fun. Nobody wants to have a conversation with people who only want to compete against everything they're saying with no leg to stand on, just out of a desire to dominate you. It gets old. You know how old it gets sort of doling out principles and information and solutions to problems that people can barely consider. I'm like, oh yeah, I got it from here. And they just take off and start doing their own thing without having most of the information. You know how tired you get just dumping energy into people and trying to heal them only to be disregarded? It gets old, man. It gets old. Older by the second. Like your boy Donald King. I look tired right now. Look at my face. I looked in the mirror today. I was looking in the mirror just like, I'm not a vain man, but I looked in the mirror. I was like, ugh, what the hell is wrong with your face? And it's called lack of sleep. By the way, hey, before I get off all of that, appreciation. Yo, everybody who's been hitting up Dayton Dessert Dealer, man, and everybody who came through and who really purchased desserts from me and who appreciated what I was doing and been showing me love. I can't thank you enough. I can't thank you enough. I'm glad that I provide some happiness to you, and I'm glad that you trusted me to come through for you on something delicious, and I'm happy to provide in that way. But yeah, man. So this isn't a bitch fest. It's not a bitch fest. It's actually a celebration. Because in the midst of every single thing that I may experience on a personal level, and also carrying the weight of this sort of entity, like I feel what it feels, and its feelings towards this species and the corruption of this species, they're so like profound and deep and like just, I mean, it's kind of ready to be out of this body because it's ready to start cutting away some corruption yesterday. This thing hates corruption. My God, it hates corruption. It hates cheating. It's so funny. Because whenever I see someone cheating or scamming, I instantly have an eye for it because of this thing. It's kind of like, that's not right. Nope, that's not right. And I'm like, I be trying not to speak on it sometimes, but yeah, that's the way it works, man. So, but my brother came through for me. Out of appreciation. He poured a little bit of life back into me, just saying, hey, we see you. There's been more and more people coming forward and being like, hey, we see you. A lot of people compliment me. They compliment me for various reasons. Some people think that I'm attractive. Some people think that, I'm cool. The very best compliment I get, though, is that people think that I have a good spirit. They think that I'm a genuinely good person. Every day I pray to make every situation I'll walk into better than it was when I got there. Better than it was when I got there. And I don't know if that's a sign of being a good person, but I'd say if I had to give any sort of metric to what could determine what a good person is, I would say that would be it. So, again, I don't even know what I'm talking about, man. Or I don't know what I'm going to talk about. It's probably going to be a shorter podcast because I have some cooking to do, apparently. Reputation precedes me. So, yeah, I got a few more orders to fill. But, in the grand scheme of things, what makes a person grounded, what roots us in reality, what keeps us grounded in reality is appreciation, right? One of the biggest problems with narcissism, and you see me speak on the subject of narcissism a lot because, again, we're sort of socialized into being raging narcissists, but when you start to lose appreciation for all the ways in which you benefit from reality and others around you, and you sort of become entitled and expect things to come together for your benefit and for the earth to fill in beneath you as you walk, you lose sight of really good things. Not every species gets an avatar. Like, there are a lot of parasitic entities out there that are just going straight into the distortion through no fault of their own. Like, again, in case you guys lost sight of what I was talking about, everything that we know related to parasitism, everything we know related to disease, it all traces back to a parasitic twin universe that's sort of burrowing into, cannibalizing, and transforming the body of the universe we presently reside in. They're soon to be conjoined twins, however, it's a parasitic twin consuming and destroying its sibling. There are large numbers of structural building blocks belonging to this parasitic twin universe that have no form of recourse. no way to become aware of the impact that they're making on the body of this planet, extending up to the vast, like, countless planets and systems that have been destroyed and overtaken. They have no way to understand how that impacts upon them moving into their next life cycle, especially after there's no more such thing as hell, or no such thing more as one. You understand what I'm saying? So this is a rare privilege, man. Like, if you have somebody, or if there's a being among your group and you have systems and networks of communication that can help you as a species learn how to sync up with reality, it doesn't apply to every parasitic species. Like, it's a rare treat. You know, it's like if I'm on the outside looking in, and I gave myself enough time to vet who or whatever's claiming to be this particular thing, and they were consistent long enough for me to be like, yo, maybe that's worth listening to. I would probably give it some solid consideration at the very least. I'd probably pull up a chair and sit down and be like, yo, you got my attention. I've noticed you making sense over this duration of time. I've noticed how you've maintained your core message and your ways of sort of communicating these systems of principles you've been speaking to for a long enough time for me to have surmised. It is in my best interest to at least listen to you and give you a chance to make sense. It boils down to appreciation. Entitlement will have you thinking that you're on par with anything that performs at the top tier of intellectualism. Vanity makes everybody think that they're stars that they're not. Narcissism. You look at somebody like Usain Bolt. I can run that fast. There's no way in hell you can run as fast as that guy. Look at Michael Phelps, and you're like, I can swim that fast. If you're a narcissist, you can believe that you're superhuman when you're not. You believe that you're fit to go head to head with superhumans when you're not. But yeah, man, honesty. When you start honestly assessing performance alone, and not letting your inner story and your desire to demonstrate value interrupt your ability to assess how something performs. And you're like, yo, I could benefit from that right there. I could benefit from that. That's it's probably in my best interest to try and sync up with it, because I know I can't outperform it. When you're not lost in the inner story, then you're assessing reality in real time. But if you're lost in the inner story, if you're lost in idealism, then, you know, you think you can swim like a shark and dance over rainbows like unicorns because you're magic. It doesn't work that way. Not in reality. So yeah, all this work I've been putting in and all these lumps I've been taking through the years, all the emotional scars, and having to maintain my frame of reference and my emotional ebb and flow and positive outlook. It takes a toll, man. It takes a toll. Oh, man. It's nice, though, when somebody appreciates. It's nice when somebody gives back and they're like, hey, I benefited from you. Let me benefit. Let me benefit you. That's mutualism. That's what it boils down to, right? Just being like, yo, I see you doing good. Let me do something good for you. So that yeah, man, that made me feel very good. Again, everything is all going to the idea of building up to a larger platform so that I can reach as many people as I possibly can. Again, I don't know how much time I have in this body. I don't know what tomorrow holds. I can't see the future. I think that's the worst part about this is you would think if you can see all of reality in perfect pitch, you would think that you could see future events unfold and you could see the past, and you can see the mechanism of how certain, I guess, phenomena would have had to have emerged and events would have had to come to pass in order to arrive at the present. So in that way, you can kind of see the past, and you can be like, no, that's not right. When somebody gives you information that doesn't like fit with a logical progression of, or a mechanical progression of events, you kind of like, no, that didn't how that's a lie. That's a lie. But downside is you can't see the future. I cannot predict the future. You can only be in the present. You see how things are. You don't see what will be. So, who knows? Only thing that I do know for sure is once we're out of these bodies and once the seal has been formed between these universes and they become a conjoined twin, anything that remains in an aggressor state will be purged and it will be cast into the distortion or reality's cleansing system that is designed to remove corruption from corrupt life forms. And whatever has to be cut away and painfully cut away, because again, the human experience, it's muted. In this little bandwidth is the maximum amount of sensation you're allowed to experience within the human body. Once you're out of the body and you're just dealing with your potential form and or your principal expression and or your spirit, like Jesus Christ, it's like there's no limit to how bad it gets or how good it can be. I mean, like when I was in heaven, the bliss, and I mentioned this in my last video, the bliss was just so delicious. It was so delicious that, I mean, like, it was better than sex. I love sex. Women, I love you. You're delicious to me. I love everything about women. Ones I bond with. But, yeah, man, it was a million times better than sex. It was better than orgasm. I don't know that I'm just saying this as understanding what the flesh can endure and what it can experience. There's nothing we can't create anything that creates that level of bliss. There's nothing you can do to flesh to make it feel that good. It was amazing. Honestly, I can't wait to get home, man. That shit was fire. Shit is fire. I love it. I want it back. I want it back, man. But in the meantime, here dealing with y'all monkey asses, you apes. Ah, man. I always wonder how this is going to play out. I do. I don't know. Only thing I can do is show up and try. That's what I do in every situation I enter into. I don't know how everything will play out, but the best I can do is show up and try. Take some L's, get a few W's. Not that I'm keeping score or anything, but, you know. World keeps on spinning. Ooh, what's up, Pierre? Hey, thank you. Hey, I didn't call you dirty, stinking apes. Absurd. I said y'all monkey asses. There's a difference. You are. Hey, I appreciate you too, brother Pierre. You know, I love I love it when people come through, man. I mean, like, again, I don't know if anybody can know the amount of work that goes into this. I mean, just the amount, like, you guys think that it's like I'll be writing posts because, you know, I want to or things of that nature. But there's a thing in me that's like, hey, here's an opportunity to share these principles. Share these principles. And then it shows me what it wants me to say or what it wants me to share. And then, you know, or it uses personal experiences to be like, here's an opportune time to explain this body of principles here. You're fresh in it right now. Get to work typing. And I'm like, okay. It's like sometimes I'll be sleeping at night and it's like I'll be just dead in the middle of sleep. There are principles to write. God damn it. Oh, let me sleep. But yeah, man. Again, it's like I know this all sounds crazy. I didn't expect this to be my life. I didn't expect this to be my life at all. But here we are. So, what are you going to do but run with it? What are you going to do but run with it? Yeah. So, anywho, y'all already know how we roll. You can find me on social media, Donald King. I'm on Facebook, obviously, on which I am shooting right now. Hopefully they don't delete the video this time and then put it back up 24 hours later. I'm on Instagram at Avatar Cycle XIII. You can also find me on Patreon. You can join the Patreon family at the same, I guess, moniker, Avatar Cycle XIII. So, yeah, that's Avatar Cycle 13, baby. And I'm on YouTube, DRK Side 76. You can just type in that URL and it'll come up. And then also I'm on Medium. I have to post some more stories on there, some more content. I produce so much content that it's like just keeping up with where to put it. Man, that's a job all into itself. I honestly need a team at this point because it's like I'm in a situation where my output level is so high that organizing and editing and all these other things, there's only so much that you can do. Like there are only so many hours in the day. So it's like even when it comes to like building a website or doing brand promotion or just really sort of hitting the pavement with you know, social media campaigns and all these other things, it's like I'm basically in the middle of a choice. I'm like, okay, so you can focus on capturing the principles, or you can try and turn yourself into a brand, but you're not going to have time to do both. And you're kind of like, yo, that's wild. So, you know, I try and split the time as best as I can between the two, but I mean, I try and explain it like this. Imagine someone gave you a pair of goggles and then all of a sudden you could see into a pyramid in the city of Atlantis. And, you know, you're searching down there and you're trying to archive as many effects in the layout of the thing as you possibly can because you only have these special goggles and no one else has them. And you're kind of like trying to record as much information as you can. And then you have to figure out not just how to go back and report what you see through these magic goggles, but you also have to figure out how to create you have to do press releases, and you have to figure out how to like circulate all this information. It's too much. It's too much. There's just not enough hours in the day, regardless of how smart you are. There's just not enough hours in the day to produce and then also distribute. So at a certain point you need a team, and you're like, yeah, need to get some folks to get this done, because again, I didn't even plan when I'm saying this. This is all stuff y'all need to see. Y'all literally need to see all of these things. You need to understand these principles, because regardless of whether or not you want to believe me, the system of reality doesn't care what you believe. You are beholden to the rules of the system, regardless of whether or not you agree to them or you don't. And the more things you do, sort of lost in your inner story, to disrupt reality and to cause imbalances and conflicts and distortion within reality, is the more you're going to have to pay on the back end, and the consequences are super steep. Like, you don't have a frame of reference for how bad the consequences are. So, that being said, you're always welcome to try and help me reach as many people as I possibly can. So far as I've seen, and again, I'm talking about what I see through this perspective, doing what you can to help clear the path for reality to be heard, it counts against the negative impacts that you've already made on reality. So it's sort of reversing, I guess, karmic debt for the most part. And it wouldn't be fair of me to tell you, I see all of these bad things that happen if you're out of sync with reality, if I don't at least provide some way for you to get back in sync with it. And that's what I'm doing. So, yeah, man. We get her done. At least we try. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I don't know who all has seen this or who hasn't, but I mean, shit, we're just shooting from the hip and talking it out, right? Right. Well, yo, I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Brother Angel, man, bro, touch my heart, man. Appreciate you more than you imagine. I mean, Angel, he's actually been part of the Patreon family for a minute, and my brother Mark. You know, my brother Chris was on there too, man. Y'all stepped up, and you see value in what I do. People who try to understand me, they're gonna like me. People who view me as competition and or as someone they hope to dominate, they're not gonna like me. For those of y'all who try to understand me, thank you.